Hello, the one and only Xylophoney here for an ARK Survival Evolved Top 10 Halloween special. We're gonna take a look at the spookiest and scariest of all the creatures on the island. Today we're gonna take a look at both the dinosaurs included and the ones who have not been released yet, just to get a good, nice array of very scary things. Now, this is not going to include the bosses, and it's not going to include the Dodo Rex or any of the skeleton dinosaurs, because they would just be a little too obvious and a little too spooky for me. But we're going to get right into this countdown with number 10, the Scorpion. Now, you can just take a look at this guy and know that he was made to inspire fear. He has that crazy stinger, claws, even has little tiny claws coming out of his mouth, spikes across his legs, and just everything about this guy screams terror. He's gonna poison you. He eats rotten flesh specifically. That's what he enjoys to do. And just a skittering little creepy zombie flesh eating, I don't know. It's a really spooky dude. But we're gonna go on to number 9 here, which is the Bat. Okay, so the Bat might not be the spookiest. Anyway, moving on to number 9, the Spider. The Aranio, to be precise. Now, just looking at the picture in this dossier, it is super frightening. The only reason it's number 9 on the countdown is because once you get into the game, it's not exactly the most frightening thing. They're generally pretty easy to kill, and you know that you should be expecting them when you go into a cave. But that doesn't stop us from looking at this guy and just getting creeped out. Ugh. At number 8, we have the Bat. Now, the bats are also kind of to be expected, much like the spider, and bats are always kind of creepy and scary. Seems pretty obvious, but they are actually a pretty terrible threat when it comes down to exploring a cave. If you get a group of bats on you, then you can be in a very dangerous situation, so it can be pretty bad when it comes down to that. And just to solidify this guy's place in number 8, we got a little picture of him eating a spider down there, so he takes the spot. Anyway, now that we got some of those Halloween spooky staples out of the way, let's move on to some bigger things like the Mosasaurus, number 7. This guy is going to be the only water thing put on here because I think he is the terror of the deep. There's Megalodons, there's Plesiosaurs, but this guy is probably the scariest of them all. Not only is he really big, he's super fast too. You're not going to outpace this guy. If you find yourself in the water, even with scuba gear, he'll be able to chase you down and devour you. There's not much you can do about it. You have to sit there and fight back. Now, if you have to fight back a Megalodon, you can probably win that fight. But against one of these guys, I don't think you have much of a chance. Just say your prayers and get ready to die. Anyway, back onto land for number 6. We have the Arthropleura. That's right, this one hasn't quite been added to the game yet. But if you see the dossier picture here, you can see why he's on this countdown. He's just creepy, slimy, skittering, everything you would think of for Halloween. He's another carrion feeder, much like the Scorpion. And he's just, I don't know guys, this picture really creeps me out. This might be the creepiest picture in the countdown. Just between his eyes, his tons of legs, and just his abilities to dissolve your armor and just try to kill you right away. It's a pretty terrifying dude. But we're gonna remove the legs here and move on to number 5, the Titanoboa. Now, of course, a snake has to be on the countdown, but at number 5, that's a really respectable part. Now, he's not tameable, he's not exactly rideable, but the thing these guys can do is when they bite you, they slow you down and make it very difficult for you to run away, forcing you into a fight. And if you're in a cave or in a swamp, this could be a lot of danger for you. And they're also very low to the ground, so they can get a good surprise on you. They can climb over the walls of your base. Sneak attacks are easily able to happen when it comes to the Titanoboa, and they have enough raw power to back it up. Moving on to number 4, we have another one of the unreleased dossiers, the Caprosuchus. Now, I was thinking about putting the Sarco on this just because Sarco is really scary, but nothing compared to the Caprosuchus. The entire point of this guy is to inspire fear. Not only is he, a creepy gator looking guy with teeth and claws and everything you can imagine to be terrified of, He is the jump scare dinosaur. He jumps out of the water to attack his prey, slows them down, cripples them, and proceeds to attempt to kill them. Now, when it comes down to this, I think it's going to be the scariest thing to encounter in the game, probably the biggest jump scare in the game when it comes down to walking around the swamps. And even the little guy in the top left corner here, he doesn't look like he's having a very good day. Moving on to number 3, we have the Direwolf. Now, this guy is just terrifying all around. Of course wolves are scary. Just hearing their howl through the pitch black night just sends shivers down your spine. But in ARK, it takes it to a whole nother level. When you hear these guys howl and they start coming at you, there's not much you can do to get away from them. They will outspeed you, and they are very strong, very difficult to fight. What makes it even worse is they will attack you in a group, leaving you not a lot of options but to fight back and try your best. And if you're not really geared up, really prepared to take them out, then they will probably take you out. Now for number 2. I feel like you guys would get really angry at me if I didn't put this guy on the countdown, so here we have it, the Giganotosaurus. This guy is going to be the biggest, most terrifying predator in the game. Of course, he's going to do insane damage, have a massive size, and just straight crush anything in his path. The only reason he's not number 1 is because generally I fear the things I don't see rather than the things I do. The one benefit is you will see this guy coming. The downside of that is you may not know what to do if you see him coming. He may be slow enough for you to run away, but if you're near your base or near any of your slower dinosaurs, they may quickly be owned by the Giganotosaurus. Now, for number 1, the Terror Bird. This may have been one you guys weren't exactly expecting, but I think you can agree he belongs on the list nonetheless. The Terror Bird is quite literally terrifying. He has terror in his name, but he's going to have all of the negatives I spoke about with the Direwolf, seeing as if he runs into you, he's probably going to outspeed you and do whatever it takes to kill you, so you're going to have to fight back. On top of that, he just looks plain scary. Just between his claws, his sharp beak, his jagged feathers pointing everywhere, he even has a leaping slash attack that'll be very dangerous to players that encounter him. I think this guy is going to be very scary, jumping out of bushes to attack you out of nowhere. He's going to have jump scares included, power included, speed, everything else on this list to take you down and make you very unhappy that you found one of them. But of course, that is my opinion. The one thing about this countdown is it's 100% opinion based on what you think is the scariest. So, in the comments below, make sure you let me know what you think is the scariest on this list, or maybe something I may have missed. Of course, thank you for watching, leave a like if you have enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Have a happy Halloween.